Well, hello. We are live again, and we're coming live to you tonight. I am Coach D. I am helping busy corporate women get engaged, as well as those that are in relationships, helping you take your relationships from unhealthy to healthy. Again, I am changing relationship statuses. I am also creating healthy relationships. Tonight, I jump on here real quickly. Of course, I got a call tonight with the pastors and with the single pastors and the single ministers that we're going to begin starting a class. But I wanted to jump on here real quickly tonight to kind of go over what we, not really go over, but continue what we talked about yesterday, talking about no more setbacks, talking about not doing things or doing things, not doing things or doing things and causing yourself to go backwards. It's time out for things to go backward. It's time to go forward. This is 2020. It's time for something new. It's time for you to start experiencing a new thing. And so in order to really experience the new thing, you got to stop having the setbacks. And so last night I was asking you to look over your life, and every time you make steps forward, there's always something that causes you to go back. You take more steps forward, and then there's some things that causes you to go back. So again, evaluate your life. Every time you get ready to make this move, something happens. And so I told you last night to evaluate that. Hey, Cedra, glad that you can join us tonight. And so what I want to talk to you tonight about is No More Setbacks Part 2, because when you have, you already know what this tastes like, but you don't know what that tastes like. What do I mean by that? You know what this apartment or this home that you live in right now, but you don't know what the next home is going to be like or feel like or taste like. You know what that relationship did for you. So why would you go back to that relationship? Why don't you gear up and start going for something new? Hey, Janet, glad you can join us tonight as well. Again, no more setbacks, no more setbacks. And so tonight, I want you to acquire a new taste. Acquire a new taste. You already know when you go back, what back it has to offer you. You already know what that feels like, what that seems like. I know people who get out of relationships, break up with the person, and then before they can even, start tasting and feeling and getting another person, guess what? They go back to something that's old. Why go back to something that's old? If it didn't work, why you keep going back? Because you know why? It's familiar to you. So tonight I jump on here real quickly to say, you need a new taste. That is going to be the motivation to keep you moving forward. You need to ask yourself, what does this taste like? What would that taste like? The reason why people keep going back to things that are familiar to them, because why? Because it's familiar. But I wonder if I was to press towards this. I wonder if I quit allowing things to pull me back. I wonder what this would taste like. That's the question tonight that you should be asking yourself. I want to quit right now. I want to go back right now, but I can't. Why? Because I want to taste something new. I want to taste something different. I want to live in a home that I've never lived in before. I want to experience a relationship that I've never been experienced before. Yes, I'm single, and yes, I've gone through many relationships, but you know what? I'm not going back. I'm not going to have no setbacks. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go forward, and I'm going to taste something that I've never tasted before. Tonight, what's causing you to go backwards? What's causing you to sit back? You've got to acquire a new taste. Get a new taste. Okay? So I want you to begin to think about that. And that's what I was talking about to my singles on another Facebook Live. And I was telling them that they got to begin to look for something new. Okay? You know what this old thing tastes like, but you don't know what the new thing tastes like. It's time for you to acquire a new taste. You know what this kind of job has to offer, but you don't know what that next job has to offer. You don't know what that next business is like. So what you got to begin to do, you got to what? You got to press forward. You got to press towards the new things. Okay. What am I talking about tonight? We talked about last night. And for example, is that when you're sick and you begin to move too fast, move too quickly. Good evening to you, Pam. And so what you got to begin to do is what? You've got to begin to get, and so the doctor says, don't move too fast. Don't go do this. Don't go that. Why? Because you have a setback. It's nothing that the sickness has done. It's what you have done. Okay. So this is what we're talking about last night. No more setbacks. No more me doing things to my relationship. Me doing things to cause the car not to come. Me doing things for me not to walk in my house. For me doing things, not for me to start my business. You see what I'm saying? Because why? Because I'm going back to the familiar. And so tonight, get a new taste. You don't know what the taste of the new thing is because you keep going backwards. You keep sabotaging this. You keep sabotaging that. Stop self-sabotaging things and get ready to leap forward. I'm not talking about walking forward. I'm not talking about running forward. I'm talking about leaping forward to taste the new thing. Okay. And so a great illustration as I close tonight is that the children of Israel, they knew what it was like to be in Pharaoh's house. They knew that Pharaoh, even though they were slaves, he had great things for them to eat. And they talked about the great thing and they missed the great thing that they had to eat, but they never tasted the fruit from the promised land. But guess what? When they brought the fruit back from the promised land and they saw the fruit, and they passed the fruit around and they saw and they had a report of the fruit. Guess what? That should told them what? I'm going to acquire a new taste for something new. So I don't want what Pharaoh has to offer me. I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forward to taste the good things that is before me. And so tonight, as I close, what you got to begin to understand is you've got to acquire a new taste and let the old taste go. That tasted good yesterday. That tasted good in 2020. That tasted good in January 2020. That tasted good in what? In 2019. It tasted good over even back in 2000, but it don't taste good now. You've got to acquire. So if you're wanting to move forward, you've got to acquire a new taste. I got to go and help my single pastors and my single ministers. I got to run now. But tonight, you've got to acquire a new taste. The reason why you keep going back is because something is so familiar and you know what that tastes like. That's why God gives us dreams. That's why God gives us vision. That's why God prophesies to us and gives us things. Why? So that we can begin to acquire a new taste and leave the old thing back. And leave the old thing alone, and leave the old house where we won't leave, and leave the place of being comfortable of where you are, and leave and go into something that you've never tasted before. I'm telling you, you won't quit if you taste the right thing. You won't give up if you taste the right thing. No more setbacks. Why? Because I'm ready to taste this new thing. I refuse to stop now. And I'm pressing to something better. Why? Because I'm ready to taste something new. Thank you for joining us, Miss Sister Barbara. Tonight, I got a new taste. I can tell that you ain't got a new taste. Why? Because you're still talking about how they did, what they did. You ain't got a new taste because you're still talking about the past and the present. No, I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about the right now. What's the taste like? What is that new thing that you're getting ready to press towards? I see something new. The Bible says I'm getting ready to do something new in your life. And you're not even going to know where it came from. It's just going to spring forth. But guess what? You got to start expecting it. You got to start acquiring a new taste for it. Have you ever tasted something for a long time and then eventually you said, that don't taste right no more? That's what needs to happen in your life right now. That does not taste right anymore. I'm tired of this taste. I've got to add some sugar or I got to add some salt because this thing has been good, but there's something better for me. You guys have a great night. I got to go help these single pastors and ministers. Tonight, again, if you're single, I want you to jump on Thursday. You see my flyers. Jump on Thursday. Again, acquire a new thing. Tonight, confess. No more setbacks. Why? Because I'm getting ready to taste something that I've never tasted before, and I can't wait. Have a great night.